Women are mad at the fact that they're starting to find themselves singles as a result of their boyfriend starting to consume red pill content.
Red pill content is dangerous for young men. To an extent.
Doing it ass backwards. You want to learn about the red pill and the bullshit that they're preaching about female nature. It's a bunch of incels that hate women. That's all it is.
The Andrew Tate's, like, at a certain point, we have to understand Andrew Tate was playing a character and he was overblowing it on purpose. It wasn't like, bro, 90% of that shit he was doing and saying wasn't even real. You hear people talk about him like behind the scenes, they're like, he's not like that. Relax.
Hello fam, how you all doing? How is your weekend going? Today's video is on red pill man, red pill boyfriend, red pill married men and all that. Have you ever dated one before? Have you ever been in a situation where you were in a relationship with a man and your man started consuming red pill content, and all of a sudden there is this drastic change in behavior towards you? Have you ever experienced that before? Feel free to share with us in the comment section, and please take a moment to like this video and subscribe. Thank you for your support.
Where are all the women who lost their male partners to red pill content? Front and center, please. Because I want to know what happened. I want to know how he started off when y'all got together and how red pill content changed him and how the partnership ended. What did that look like? And I also want to know, how did it feel to lose somebody you thought you knew to something as trivial and shallow as red pill content? Front and center, please.
Oh my God, story time, because this was literally me. So me and my current boyfriend, because yes, we are still together, but let me tell the story. We got together 4 years ago. And when we first got, y'all know I struggle to talk, right? Well, when me and I struggle real bad. When me and my boyfriend first got together 4 years ago, he was a totally different guy, even than like the guy he is today. He had just gone through some stuff. He was working on himself. And honestly, like, he was an easy guy to fall for, like successful, had his own house, you know, the works. But like slowly over the course of the time we were together, I noticed like this change in his behavior, and he slowly kind of started to devolve. Like, he wasn't treating me the same way. We didn't talk as much. And I honestly didn't enjoy being around him. Like, I didn't like him. But like right when I started getting to a breaking point, I noticed one day, like, I heard on his phone, Mr. Andrew. And it all clicked. Like, it all started making sense. And I was like, okay, this is going to be an uphill path. And I'm not going to lie, we fought like daily for a long time. It was a lot of fighting, but eventually I realized like he was hurting, and I had to really meet him where he was and try empathy instead of anger and judgment. And it was very hard for me to do. And I'm not even going to sit here and act like it's something that is even worth doing with everybody, but I realized that he was a really good person and he was worth doing that with. So like, your relationship doesn't have to fall apart. It just took, I'm not going to lie, like years. Truly, like, just as much time as we had spent together before that, we spent almost that same amount of time working on our relationship after that. But I also feel like that's why it's so important to realize that Andrew Tate is the only person talking to these men. And if you want a different result, you have to talk to that man.
So my boyfriend turned red pill, and at this point we haven't spoke for about a month. And I can't cope with the fact that someone who I saw is so compassionate and thoughtful and intelligent, so caring and open-minded, just completely did a 180. They were just so supportive and caring, and even when I would have my self-sabotaging episodes, they still loved me. They really felt like a blessing. And it would get so bad because it really just pried at my insecurities, especially when talking about like women whose dads left. And I would always just end up crying and asking why, like, why are you doing this? And as someone who has like poor emotional control, it took a lot to not just like blow up all the time.
She said she had poor emotional control. She had self-sabotaging episodes. To me, it kind of just sounds like the dude probably had enough. And this is what you're going to notice. You're going to notice everybody's boogeyman nowadays, especially women, is going to be the RP.
The last lady had, according to her, emotional issues. She can't put it together. Like, she acknowledged that she has poor emotional control, and that can be very detrimental to the individual. And we saw how her story went. A guy that was her everything withdrew and it became chaotic for her. That's one of the fears of entrusting your emotions on someone, not being able to be in control of your emotions, making someone your everything. It can be very detrimental if they decide to pull away and become a different person. The only person you can trust and believe 100% in is yourself. Sometimes people can't even trust themselves because they don't even know what they're going to do next. But if you understand yourself as a human being and you know what your patterns are, then you can trust yourself alone 100% aside God, because people do change, especially in relationships. You might have a smooth sailing relationship, things might seem all rosy and dandy. The next moment, your partner wakes up and tells you they've changed their mind, they don't want this anymore, or they change their behavior towards you without any trigger or even explanation. Things like this happen. Now that we have so many dating coaches online, especially those coaches that are online dishing out negative relationship advice to men and all that, just imagine having a man that doesn't understand who he is, which I believe a lot of men out there don't understand who they are, having such man going online and consuming such content. What do you think is going to be the repercussion on your relationship? Some men are blaming women for being the reason why their partners are not consuming the red pill content. According to them, they said the women were maltreating the men in the relationship, and those men were looking for help, and they found help in the red pill content.
And since we're talking about red pill content, I want a lot of women who lost their man to red pill content. I want y'all to understand that 9 times out of 10, when guys get engrossed in that shit, and I'm talking about the negativity of it, the women haters and the Andrew Tate's, like, at a certain point, we have to understand Andrew Tate was playing a character and he was overblowing it on purpose. It wasn't like, bro, 90% of that shit he was doing and saying wasn't even real. You hear people talk about him like behind the scenes, they're like, he's not like that. Relax. Because it was a character. But with all that being said, y'all have to understand that 9 times out of 10, when guys get fully engrossed in that, they hit an age where their feelings were no longer being validated by anyone. So, for example, they feel like, well, if she asked me for something, I have to say yes because I can't say no to her. If I say no, I feel like I'm gonna lose my girl. Unfortunately, in a lot of situations, that's true. There's a lot of guys walking around here paying women's bills, getting her gifts. She hints toward wanting her nails done. He's sending money and all that. And y'all think, oh, he just like taking care of me. No! He's afraid to lose you if he doesn't do that shit. Almost every man has been in a situation where he felt like, damn, if I don't give this girl this or do this and that, she's going to have one less reason to want to be around me. And there's a lot of women who play that game. They play that game. They make a man feel like, well, if you ain't going to do it for me, someone else will, type shit. And so they hear a red pill podcast, a clip on Reels or TikTok or whatever. They hear a guy looking like me saying, bro, if she's making you feel like less because you don't want to pay for her bills, leave her. Start telling her no. Start seeing if she really like you for you and your personality and everything you bring to the table aside from money. And then they start doing it, and the women get upset because they can no longer benefit from this puppet that they've created. Now these women online talking about, I lost my man to Red Pill podcast and shit. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Somebody online finally told him, bro, what you going through, a lot of men are going through. We just don't sit around in circles and cry about it to other men. And this is how you fix it. And in the midst of them fixing it, you got your ass bounced. That's all that's happening.
Women are mad at the fact that they're starting to find themselves singles as a result of their boyfriends starting to consume red pill content. That's a trend now on TikTok. I've seen a bunch of videos that went viral about their women telling the story about the relationship ended as a result of their boyfriend started to consume red pill content. Now listen, don't get me wrong. Me personally, I'm not a fan of that kind of content. I feel like it's toxic. I feel like the content creators are weirdos and creeps, you know what I'm saying? But two things could be true at once, you know, and they are pointing to a lot of truths about how toxic some women are. So these dudes are running into this type of content, man, and they're stressed out in their relationship and whatever situation they're in, and they're like, oh man, they're talking about me. Wait, so you're telling me that I don't have I don't gotta put up with this? I don't have to deal with this? Wait, I can stand up for myself? Because a lot of these dudes are insecure, man. They have a low self-esteem, so they feel like it's almost like there's an expectation on the relationship for the woman to be able to disrespect them, you know? So they're starting to stand up for themselves, and the women, they ain't liking it. Oh, hell no, man. What? You think you can stand up to me? What? You think you can make the man? No. You do what I tell you, and that's what it's gonna be. You know, the happy wife, happy life type mentality. And these dudes are like, hell no, I'm a man. I'm an alpha male. But it's hilarious, man. The women are pissed. I read in one of the comments, one woman said, she said, yeah, I knew it was over when I found my boyfriend listening to Dr. Jordan Peterson. And I'm like, really? Dr. Jordan Peterson? That guy's the furthest thing away from the red pill, man, that you could possibly find on the internet.
The red pill content is centered around, when it comes to relationship with women, it's centered around gender role. A male has to be dominant. You have to oppress a woman, dominate her. That's the only way you can be successful in a relationship. That is basically what their mindset is all about. They don't believe in equality. They don't believe in the whole partnership. It's deeply rooted in the patriarchy kind of relationship. It's all about subduing a woman. It's all about hurting women. That's what their focus is on. And there's really nothing positive about it, because all I see is men hating women, dishing out hateful things about women, and not acknowledging women as humans. They see us as objects. When it comes to sexual intercourse, you have to hit them, you have to bang them like we are objects and all that. So that's what I've seen the red pill movement has been all about over time. I don't know if they started off well and it became toxic in the process. I'm not sure, but what I've seen so far has been toxicity coming from that end. And some men are not buying into their teachings. Some men have come out to call them out and tell them this content you're giving out is very toxic to women and men.
Red pill content is dangerous for young men to an extent. I've lately clicked on one video on YouTube, right? And suddenly all this red pill content just keeps popping up on my feed. I like the title, so I've been watching them a lot lately. And if I would have had a lot of this red pill content at least like 4 years ago, I would have dodged a lot of situations. But I've been noticing the rise of like this weird ass trend. The red pill content, my issue with it is that it talks a lot about high value men, right? And it's kind of like reverse feminism in a way. If you kind of look at it, feminism started off good, then ended up a man hating movement. As a man, I say the red pill content is good, but we need to be careful because a lot of this stuff is starting to turn women hating. It has regular dudes thinking that they are the 1%. And I'm here to tell you, you're not the 1%, including me, so I kind of want to make content for the regular guy.
If you guys keep listening to the red pill community and this bullshit manosphere, you will never get women. They are making you bitter towards women, hateful, disrespectful towards women. How do you expect to get any women if you preach hate towards women? Understanding female nature is one thing, fellas. I agree. You have to understand the psychology of female nature. But if you don't have the game to back that up with experiences, with knowledge that you know when it comes to women, with your failures, your successes, that red pill, the female nature bullshit, it ain't gonna mean nothing, okay? Doing it ass backwards. You want to learn about the red pill and the bullshit that they're preaching about female nature. It's a bunch of incels that hate women. That's all it is. They're teaching you guys to be fearful of women, to not get in relationships, to not date women, to not approach women. Oh, just focus on you, men going their own ways. This is how I know these guys get no women, because you don't understand the superpowers that certain high quality women have. You don't understand the value that they can add to your life. A good woman can influence a man without the need to be forceful.
Red pill contents are detrimental to both male and female. Very detrimental to the people consuming it, and in a way it affects the people around, because after consuming those contents, they will start acting out, especially when they're in a relationship with a female. So the female is definitely going to feel it. I know a couple of you have frowned at the fact that I've not been crediting the owners of the video. And like I've explained to some people in the comment section, I did that on purpose. I don't want a situation where I put up a video and you guys are not happy with the video. Maybe the video triggered you, then you move over to the person's TikTok comment to attack the innocent creator. What I'm going to do is this. I'll credit the videos I can credit, and the ones that I perceive that might trigger that, I'm not going to credit those videos. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you would love to know how some red pill men are so obsessed in humbling women, please click this video here. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.